Hi, everybody, and welcome to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson-Passy from Carolina Girl Genealogy. We've got a fabulous panel and an extra special guest that we are so excited to have with us today. Let's start with Mary Kircher Roddy from MKR Genealogy and the Applied Genealogical Institute.
Good to be here.
Good to have you here. Mary is a smart cookie. You need anything done, you go to Mary. We have got Treasure Chest of Memories. It's Laura Hedgecock's banner that she works under. And Laura is our writer. And you can always tell by the questions, based on what the different people in the group do, you can really, really hone in on their questions and what they are talking about. So Laura is really good about getting those stories and talking about all these different buzzwords that are in the literary field that arcs and all those kinds of things that she teaches us about stories and what happens in stories. And then we've got Mr. Dan Earl down at the bottom. We have missed Dan for a while. He's back today, and we're so grateful for that. Dan is our family tree guy. And Dan also is doing a lot of things with teaching young people, people that are kids that are in what would you say, not good places. They've got some issues and problems, and you're trying to help them to move on with their lives and get their GED and get moving forward with their life. And I don't think there's anybody better, Dan, than you to help these children. I think that God put you there for a purpose. And last but not least, we've got Melissa Barker, our archive lady. So good to see you, Melissa, on a Saturday. We're doing this on a Saturday so that we didn't have to interview Nathan at 3 o'clock in the morning his time. So we've chosen this Saturday. So thank you for Melissa for being here.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And just so you know, all of us we're either beta readers or we got a preview copy of the book so that we kind of sort of know what we're talking about. Woohoo! Thank you, Melissa. Hold that up again. Is yours a hardback?
No, it's softback.
Softback.
I'm a reviewer, so
yes.
I got it to review.
So you got it to review. Fabulous. Great. I love that you've got that copy to show up. But of course, last but absolutely no way least is our special guest. Guys, everybody that is a fan of these books, look who we have in the house. We've got Nathan Dillon Goodwin, and he's come to talk to us about his new book, which I have to be honest, Nathan. I got the book, I pulled up the PDF, and I could not put it down. I got so sucked into the story that I could not put it down. And my kids and my husband were saying, "What are you doing?" "I'm reading Nathan's book." Shh, shh, shh. Let me finish it. So I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And I think as we've gotten to book 3, and I always feel like I say it wrong. Do you say Venator, and we say it differently, and I think it's that English. So what do you say?
Venator.
Venator. And when I read it the first time, I called it Venator. Is that just me?
I'm Venator.
Yeah. Call it Venator.
Okay, yeah. Venator. Then it was just my wacko way I read it.
Lots of people do say it like that.
Okay. Okay, Venator. I'll have to write that down so to make sure I'm doing it correctly. But this is your third one. And so what I'm finding is we're really understanding the characters. We're really starting to bond with the characters. The characters are going out on their own and having different things to do. And so they have kind of side stories along with the main story. And so anybody in this group want to explain what the actual main story that runs through this? What is happening and what is Maddy up against? And remember, Maddy is the head, right? Maddy's the head of the team. that brings in the closed case files. And in this particular one, they're worried that they're not even going to have enough DNA. But they're working on the Hollywood Strangler, and he killed 6, 7 people.
I think Laura should explain it.
Okay.
I was just about to say, you probably have your elevator pitch down.
No, I'm terrible. I'm absolutely terrible. I'm quite happy to write 140,000 words, but trying to be succinct, and I'm terrible.
Oh, it is harder. Yeah, it is definitely.
Do you want me to read your elevator pitch?
That would be better. If I try to sell it, nobody will buy it because it will sound.
Okay, y'all ready? Y'all ready? And this will help you with popping through ideas in your mind. Here we go. In the glitzy, gritty underbelly of 1980s Los Angeles, a chilling series of murders left the city gripped with fear. 6 small-time actors and actresses met brutal ends. Their bodies grotesquely posed in scenes from the films that had been given them their fleeting fame. The Hollywood Strangler evaded capture, leaving behind only a trace of DNA and a legacy of terror. Decades later, the case remains ice cold, a favorite for true crime aficionados, but a nightmare for detectives. The LAPD Cold Case Homicide Unit, desperate for a breakthrough on this case, turns to Venator, an elite investigative genealogy company headed by Madison Scott Barnhart. Knowing the media storm that the case would attract, Madison reluctantly agrees to take on the investigation, where she and her team must use their forensic genealogic genealogy skills to identify one of the most infamous serial killers or infamous serial killers in the U.S. history. But only, here's the catch, right? But only if the remaining DNA proves sufficient to test.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we start with the fact that there's these gruesome murders. We need this cold case to see who killed them, but we've got the teeniest tiny piece of DNA left. And could it be used? And so that weaves into a story about a man who thinks he can do it from some DNA that he'd saved. And lots of different stories are weaved in by the local police officers, the people that work at Venator. So they're all working together. And again, Nathan, you've brought back the team. So, and that helps people to have a connection with your stories, because it's a different story, but they come back to the team. And I think that helps people feel connected, and they're not having to learn about all new people to get into a story.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
You know what I really like too, and part of it's because we go to all these conferences, we meet these people that are working on DNA, we know they're real people, and suddenly we see them realistically thrust into the press limelight at this new thing that Cheri can't pronounce called genetic genealogy.
Apparently not.
So it is realistic, and it is something that a small team are all of a sudden into something with law enforcement that they're excited to do. But I don't think 10 years ago I know they're fictional, but still I don't think 10 years ago, were they real, they would have ever dreamed they'd be in the limelight with that. So I really liked how it parallels the things that are really going on in genealogy. And I know my voice sounds terrible, so I'll probably not talk much.
No. And Nathan, I love the fact that you do so much research, that someone wanting to learn how to do this, not the killing, but the actual, trying to help out with these cases. You really go step by step on how each thing is done. I love that the groups are split out and they do their own thing, and then they all come back and meet to see what's working, what's not working. And it's very self-explanatory. Even somebody like me who do a dabble in DNA. I don't do a lot in DNA. That's a bucket list once I get some other bucket list stuff done. But yeah, I find it, and we've talked about this before on GenFriends, that you do workshops with other genetic genealogists using your book.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
that's got to be quite a compliment that they're using your books to help show people how the process works. And
Yeah.
now I know a little bit better about how the process works. And so that's been really good for me.
Yeah. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, no, I hear it quite often. People say, "Oh, I didn't understand it before, and now I do." And so it's
Yes.
really important to me that I get that right, and so the people that really do this kind of approve of it, and kind of say, "Yes, it's done in the right way, and that's how it's done." Yeah, and I've had I can't remember which university it is, but there's one university that teaches genetic genealogy, and they put the first book in the series, at least. I don't know about the newest ones, but that's on their syllabus of like basically this is how it's done. So that's
Oh,
really
wow.
All right. This has been the kind of day I've had. I think I scrolled through and accidentally hit the button. But well, I'll fix that. So yeah, I really, really do. And I think that's why you have been able to get together with like Diane Southern and have those courses that you've had and show people, look, Nathan's written this in this book. Here's your here's your syllabus on how to understand and how to do this work. That's got to just feel so good that the community is accepting the writing that you're doing, because a lot of times when people write these kind of books, they get slammed,
Yeah.
They didn't know what they were talking about. That's not good. Yeah. So, but
Yeah, no,
I've
it's
never
great.
heard anything but good.
No, I'm very fortunate, but so I just try to make sure it's as realistic and if everything as I possibly can do. Yeah, that's very important. So I spend quite a lot of time on the research side of things, and anything on the genetic genealogy side that I don't, particularly people working in IGG, if something I don't know what would happen, then I reach out to those people. Like in the Hollywood Strangler, I reached out to Alison Peacock and said, what would happen if the sample's too small? Under what circumstances would family tree DNA come back and say it's just not enough? And how would they word that? And what would be the kind of process there? And so and then put that into the book, because that's something I hadn't, I don't do that IGG work. So I wanted to get it right in the book. And so so she helped me. Barbara Ray Venter helps me, and that's good.
So where do you find these cases? Is that who helps you find these cases? Where do you find the cases that, even if it's not the case you're going to be working on and you need to find something or dramatize something similar, how do you get these ideas?
Basically, it's because in America there are just loads and loads of very strange people. And you've got loads of serial killers. I've got years and years of books to do, because you have so many.
That's the scary thing. And what did I tell you when I ended reading the book? What did I say? I told you I was worried about you.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you don't, like, we don't do IGG in Britain, but if we did, like if I said we had a serial killer that killed 10 people, people just wouldn't believe it, because we just don't have, we obviously have had them, but they're so few and far between. Whereas America, I could say, yeah, he killed 45 people, and it's plausible. It's perfectly possible to happen. So that's basically where I hear of a real killer. I think, oh, that could be interesting. I could, fictionalize parts of it. And for the Hollywood Strangler, it was actually reading Barbara Ray Venter's book, I Know Who You Are, mainly about the Golden State Killer, but some of her other cases as well. And in that book, she was talking about the fact that they wouldn't have been able to solve the Golden State Killer because all the DNA samples had run out, because over the years they had tested the DNA, and obviously the early testing used up a lot of the samples, and basically they'd run out. And it wasn't until they discovered that Dr. Peter Speth, the medical examiner, assistant medical examiner, for Ventura County, he had taken duplicate rape kit samples, and that was just his standard. Nobody else did it. Nobody, as far as he is aware, nobody still does that. But he was like, you don't know what the future's going to hold with testing, and also once you defrost a kit, you can't refreeze it, so it's a one-off chance. So he basically, for every case he went to, if there were biological samples, he would take duplicate kits of everything just for his own kind of his own diligence, really. And because of that, they found this extra kit in the Ventura medical examiner's freezer, and they then were able to use that to do IgG to identify the Golden State Killer. And so I thought, oh, this could be interesting. So I approached Dr. Speth, this original real person, and I said, would he mind appearing in a fictional book, but as himself, and basically running along those lines. So a DNA sample, it's all completely gone for this Hollywood Strangler. Obviously it's fictional case, but the samples have run out, and it's not really giving a major spoiler alert to say, that they find that he did take a duplicate kit, and so they're able to use that for IgG. So that's how that one came about, and based on kind of various serial killers that were going on. But I mean, in Los Angeles in the 80s, they think that there were at least 6 operating at the same time. Wow. So they don't even, just in that one city at that one time. So that's how that one came about.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
is. It is scary how many serial killers we had in the US. Yeah. Although it could be that the ones in England just never got caught, so you don't have the information about them.
Yeah, we just got hundreds.
Or they just left and got on a boat and came to
just hundreds and hundreds of individual murders that no one has put together.
Quite. Yeah, I think the FBI say that you've got at least 50 on the go at any one time. So there's at least one per state at the moment out there.
That is so scary. I know that every time that I tell somebody I'm going to talk to you about the book, they really want to know, and I know you've probably answered this a million times, especially with these kind of darker books, how do you find these cases? And then do you have to make up some of the things that the killers were doing? Or are they all just in their files and you get permission to use that file?
No. So the three books in this series, they're all fictional cases, but they're usually based on either one or several. I usually pick bits out from various killers to make a new one. So that's the way I usually go, and then I try and bring in real people around that. So like I said, Dr. Speth is real, and the detectives that are working the cold case in Los Angeles in the modern day, they are fictional, but their boss, Mitzi Roberts, she's a real detective in LA, cold case detective. So so I contacted her, and she helped with that side of things and the police procedural parts of it. And I mean, between the two of them, between Peter Speth and Mitzi Roberts, they're responsible for so many killers and rapists and murderers being put behind bars. Mitzi Roberts was the person to track down Sam Little, who is the most prolific serial killer. I think he was 90-something victims. So both of those. So I try and bring in some real people. I try and again make the police procedural parts as real as I can. The IgG and the genealogy as real as I can. The locations as real as I can. But fictional case and fictional characters around that.
And how do they accept what you're doing?
What, the real people?
Yeah, how do they feel about you getting in there and opening up those cases and telling them that you're writing a book, and how do they like that?
Everyone I've contacted has been really willing to help, and they're very happy to be included. And I mean, obviously they have to trust me to an extent, and I do though run everything past them to make sure they're happy before it goes through. So so they're usually very happy. I haven't had anybody yet that I've approached turn me down, so
that's good.
I think it's all good. Yeah.
Well, besides the murders and trying to solve the murders, I love that your books have little side stories. So all of the main characters have a little side story, because it's hard to just think about all the bad stuff that's been going
Yeah.
on, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
so you've got your main character, Maddy, and she's got children, she's got a husband that has disappeared, that they're aiming towards most likely done away with, murdered, trying to figure
I
out
couldn't
what
possibly say.
so they're leaving in that area, but you never know what might happen. And she's got her mother living with her that's got Alzheimer's, and her children are trying to help, and she's doing all that, taking care of her mom, and she's trying to take care of her children and maybe start a new romance. And I think a lot of people reading that can relate to, all those different things going on, all those different parts that you have to play in your life. And so I think we're all kind of excited to see where that will go.
Yeah.
With her new relationships, and hopefully her children will get themselves, those that are having some issues, their acts back together. And so we've got and if anybody wants to jump in on any of those characters, go ahead. There's Kenyatta, who is second in command, and they all seem to be doing other things. It's not like they go in and they only work on this case. She's been working on a case for a while of some abused and abandoned boys, and working on those. And so that's one of the things that she does when she gets off work. She works on the cases all day. She goes home and she works on those cases. She's got her own sons that are having issues and problems, and an ex-husband that's not very good to her. And then she also works in the homeless shelter. So she's got a great rounding out of character. So, and I really like her. I really like her as a character. Who else have we got? Anybody else talk about another? We got Hudson, which I kind of am endeared to. We've got Hudson, who, coming back, he was worried that he was not going to be, he thought maybe he was going to be fired because he had done some stuff, that were not illegal. They were, he shouldn't have been doing it. He should have gotten permission. You don't go out on your own when you're working for a company. And it was, what would you call it? A conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And so I think he really thought that he would not be working anymore. But, with this new case, they needed all hands on deck. And so I think he might be, what do you think, Nathan? Do you think he's just like on a trial run to see how he does? I don't know.
I think she's keeping an eye on him, but I think he'll probably be staying for a while.
I think so too. Because when we go over to the family history library, we always sit on the wall, because that's what he did the last
Really?
the last book, and we like to go and sit on the wall and pretend we're part of the book. So
that's what I was doing when I was there this year. I was doing the research for that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great. That's great. Let's see, who am I missing? I wrote down a list and I don't know where my list went. Who are we missing? We're missing we talked about Maddy, but she owns this place, but Maddie's got her own side story, right? With that husband, she's now met someone, Clayton, and their story, they're getting tighter and tighter. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
Where that goes, yeah.
Yeah, where that leads. And then we've got her children, of course, that are, she's got, when you've got kids and things like that are going on, she's got to work that out so that it doesn't hurt them. So that's a tricky kind of a storyline to write as well. We've got Ross, who had been rooming with Becky. Now Becky is on sabbatical, but guys, is she really on sabbatical? What is she doing?
I think that's like the most interesting side story.
Tell us about it.
I want to give, I've talked a lot. Mary or Melissa, one of you guys could chip in about that. Or Dan.
So Becky is in Haiti and she's investigating women who were abused by UN peacekeepers, and a lot of shady dealings with the UN, and a lot of children that were conceived by these women being
Yes.
raped. And so she's trying to investigate that. And
her
it's
life
pretty,
is in danger a lot of time.
yeah. I mean, she can't leave she cannot safely leave her apartment. That does not mean she
Right.
does not leave her
Yeah.
apartment, but she's never safe out there, and nor are the people that she's trying to help. And
Right.
so they're maybe suspicious of her motives, but suspicious on, even if they help her, is
Yeah.
it really going to lead to any good result? I
Right,
mean,
right. Is it just going to
we've
put
heard
them
that
more in
story
danger,
before,
right?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we have a newer character,
Maybe,
Reggie.
um,
Oh, sorry, Mary. Did you want to say more?
that's okay.
No, it's fine. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Mary kind of broke up a little bit.
Oh, I
Um,
thought you were done. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm at the family history library, so I don't have maybe a great signal.
Okay. Was there something else you want to say? Please say
Well,
it.
it was her, she's also, as far as Maddy knows, they're in trying to investigate what happened to Maddy's husband, Michael.
Right.
And so Maddy's aware that that Becky knows something, but she doesn't know what lines of investigation Becky is doing, what progress she's made. And she's a little concerned that if something happens to Becky, nobody will know anything, and
Nobody will
the whole
know.
trail will be lost.
Absolutely.
That's a
Absolutely.
really interesting kind of dynamic there
Yeah.
that she doesn't want to
Yeah.
push. And it's interesting to see Maddy on the other side of the question. I mean, she's investigating for other people, but then someone's investigating for her.
For her.
And so she has to kind of
Yeah.
play that client role as opposed to the
Yeah.
professionalist role.
That would be a difficult turn of events to do that.
Hey, Cheri,
Yes.
I've got to go, so I wanted to ask my question before I
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Nathan, I have to go babysit my grandson, so I have to go. But my question for you, and it's a burning question for me, especially because I'm a writer. I'm not a book published writer, but I've written a lot of articles and things. I see that this is a series, your Venator series.
Yeah.
When you started this series, did you have the whole story and then you just broke it down into parts, into books? Or did you write the first book and then you got the rest for the next book and so on?
So I knew when I started the Morton series, I didn't have any idea that I would write more. But when I started this series, I thought I wanted this to be a series. So I think I probably rushed Hiding the Past a bit too much. Some of the subplots in particular, rushing for Morton to find his birth parents. Whereas in this one, I thought I want it to be several books, so I'm not going to rush the subplots of all of the individual characters, all their side stories. So I didn't have ideas for each individual case. That kind of flows out of kind of what's going on at the time. And I work in Scrivener, and so with this one, I've got the Hollywood Strangler file, but I've got notes for future books. And I've just got any idea if I come across something in the news or whatever, because it's changing so quickly, and there's all these new tools and techniques and cases coming to light. So anything that interests me, I put it into that folder, and then I start to then have a separate folder within that Scrivener file for the next one. So for Venator 4, and I start to, at the moment, all the ideas, they conflict with each other, so there isn't like a definite shape to it. So I'm more trying to spread the subplots over several stories. So that I've kind of had an idea from the beginning, from the first book. But the actual case that they're working on, that just takes shape really as I'm writing the book that I'm on. I'm working on book 4, if you see what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
And I guess you can only write depending on what
Bye.
records are available, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, there is that, and there's just all all kinds of things. Like I think when I was doing the Chester Creek murders, I hadn't yet read that book by Barbara Ray Venter, so I wouldn't have had the idea to bring in Dr. Speth and that kind of duplicate rape kit and all that. So I like to not be pinned down too much, in terms of being. I've got loads and loads of ideas that would probably all work as cases for the future Venator storylines, but I don't want to be too pinned down right now. When I am next going to write Venator 4, then I'll then go, right, how am I going to make this tighter, and actually what is the case going to be? So that's the way I work. Yeah.
I have a
Go ahead.
question. Do you write for an English audience or an American audience? Who are you envisioning when you're writing?
So I think more that series in particular is probably more American, but actually for both books, the biggest market is America. So I do have to have that certainly in mind. But particularly with the Venator series, it would be Americans mainly, because as well it's set in America. The character's American. I'm trying to write in an American way, American phrasing and spelling, etc. I try. So yes, it's mainly.
You're getting
American.
better and better and better.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, but I have to also bear in mind that I do have UK, Australian, Canadian readers as well. So they kind of need to be remembered at least.
True, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think you've done a pretty good job of keeping the Morton series British, because that's where he lives. That's how he's going to talk. Those are the things that he knows. And keeping the series that takes place in America more of an American.
Yeah.
But I just don't, it's got to be so hard, so difficult to split those into two and think about, what do I call this and how do I phrase that? So I get a kick out of, and he's probably going to get a kick into me about how many times I'll say, we don't say that here. The only person that might say that here would be an expat. So, but in general, that's just not how we phrase things. And I want your books to be as true to how you want to write them as possible. I notice that some people just get to the point where they don't care. They're like, I'm an English writer and I'm going to write it the way I learned, to say it. But I think it makes you a better writer if you're writing for the people.
Yes.
That you're right, you're
I hope
saying,
so.
I believe so. And things are going to slide, and it's all good. And I think
have a different question.
Yeah.
I was really, because your biggest audience, regardless of geography, is genealogists. Yes. And a lot of them really love the investigation into records. Do you target record sets that you kind of want to talk about in the thing, or do you just let the case tell you what record sets you want to feature?
Mainly, it's probably like 95%. It's I let the case lead the way. But if I happen to land on something where the state is, the records are closed and I have to have something, then I might consider shifting it to a different state. But usually I let the case lead. But there was one exception when I was doing the research for Hudson in the Family Search Library. I wanted to find something, and Cheri helped me by introducing me to the librarian, and so I was like, I need something that isn't on your online catalogue. That someone has to, they want to see it, they have to come into a Family Search Library,
right.
And so that was something then that I then found the records for. Was it Patrick County in West Virginia, I think it was. They're only available in book form on the shelves in Family Search. So then I had to kind of write that scene to fit those record sets, just for a bit of variety. Otherwise, they're all just sitting there and everything's online, which isn't completely realistic, is it? There are times when, if you want that record, you've got to go to an archive or write to the county or whatever. But mainly I let the case lead.
Yeah, I could have saved you all that trouble if you just go with my ancestors. Their records are always in the Family History Library only. They're not available online. Okay. So just could have saved you all that trouble.
Saved you all that trouble.
Next time.
But were they all murdered?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Mary,
no.
Mary, before you have to go, can you do your show and tell?
Okay, let me see.
Mary's got some show and tell for us.
me just see.
See if you can,
I don't want to take too much time, but just
no, this is so fun that
legit.
you went and did this. You should be
okay.
able, you should be
Yeah,
able to share.
Yes. So I want to share. Could you see that? Did you see that?
It's starting to come up.
Okay. So I am in Salt Lake City for the BCG board meeting, and so I did my little pilgrimage yesterday. So I went to the Kearns building, and I don't know if I can go right to the next one.
It's a lovely building, isn't it?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
really pretty building. And I realize now I should have taken a picture from across the street
And
too.
those of you who've read the book will recognize the Kearns
yeah.
building.
I like all the gold Art Deco stuff.
Yes, and that
Nice.
okay, so hang on. Sorry. So here. There's me in front of Eva's. So yeah, and I had to go inside.
It didn't
and,
move over. We're still seeing the same one.
Oh no. Okay, so
Because aren't you standing in front of it with a red shirt on?
no,
At one point, you stand in front
yeah.
of something with a red shirt on.
I don't
Maybe
know.
you're gonna have
Okay.
to come back and forth and share
Yeah.
simple one. There's just a few.
Okay, so all right, share.
Aw.
Yeah, so anyway, I won't, because it's taken too long to show the pictures. I got a chocolate croissant. I can definitely recommend the chocolate croissant. It was
Oh, yeah.
lovely. Very popular place, quite the crowd. I had to wait in line a long time. It's a good thing
Wow.
that I had motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I think it's
delicious and really
She said-
flaky croissant. Yeah.
She said she had to take a book tour and go to all the
Yes,
different
so-
places. But what we will do is, Mary, if you'll send me those pictures, I will get all the pictures onto the blog post.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do that.
So that
Okay.
Nathan can see those. And I think, Nathan, if we can work this out and you do come, we need you to come, we should do a GenFriends tour.
Yeah.
And that would be fun.
We could
That would be
go
See you
to
guys.
all the different.
Bye,
Thanks,
Mary.
Mary. Get back
Bye,
to your
thanks.
BCG
Nice to see
meeting.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right, here's a little bit of a part two because we had a tech just did us in, and so these are the people that could get back in. We're hoping that others can come back as we are talking to Nathan. But Nathan, I just really want to tell you that how much I enjoyed reading this book. I could not put it down, and I just think about
She's
you.
telling the truth. We'd had it like 3 hours, and she's sending me messages. Are you reading it yet? Are you reading it yet?
Oh, really?
I really could not put it down. And it's interesting. I tell people, I know you as a Nathan, as a Nathan with with the sweet little son Harrison. I just, and then for you to write these books, I mean, that's talent because you got such a split personality or I mean, it really is. It's talent to be able to do that.
Thank you. I won't argue over my split personality.
Split personality. And I do want to thank you. I did want to make
you the person, you're such a trickster, and then there's a very serious novels, and there
yes.
very serious personal issues going on, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
he's got this.
my recommendation is anybody watching should get the book if you have not. It's an entertaining read, and you might accidentally learn something.
And you will learn some DNA skills. Exactly. You will learn DNA skills reading a novel. You've done such a great job with that.
Thank you.
And they work. That's what people actually do. You're not making things up.
No.
So, and I think that's the good part is you're not making things up. Is she barking? That's okay. This
She's
is actually
disagreeing.
how it works. But Laura and I particularly would like to thank you for having Maddy answer an email to come on GenFriends. That
Yes.
was so sweet. I kind of screamed.
Yeah, I think she would come on. Of all the shows, of all the invites she would receive, I think she would go on yours.
Oh, that is so sweet. Wouldn't that be funny if we could do that sometime? We could gather everybody around at Root Second. We have somebody play Maddy. That would be great.
It would.
She could come on. That would be really great. Maybe we could have a trivia of your books. We could do a trivia night.
Yeah, a quiz.
Yeah, that would be really fun. It wouldn't take a lot of putting together,
No.
just something fun to do with you. Not something as big as you were doing before, but maybe just a trivia. You've got enough books out there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would work.
I don't know all the answers though. That's the thing. People ask me about my the first books in both the series, and I'm like, I can't really remember.
I wrote them so long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They just go out of my head. Once they're out, I kind of, the storylines and things just disappear. I have to reread them when I want to then go back to them.
Yes.
I couldn't come up with Becky's name a few minutes ago, so.
I always have to kind of skim through. Let's see what Dan's saying. Dan says, sorry, my son reset the router
because he's 16. Because he's 16 in a nincompoop.
So for those of you who would like to know what we're laughing at, Dan, we got cut off. He says, sorry, my son reset the computer like a nincompoop and it went off. So
oh dear.
That's really funny. We'll catch him again. So we're still wondering about rootstock.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So any last words about anything coming up next?
Yeah, and it's just
for those of us
what
that have already read this book, what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to Morton next.
Good.
So I had started that was actually my next book. I got about 10,000 words into the next story, and then I kind of got sidetracked with working with Beth and Mitzi Roberts, and I thought, okay, let's just finish Hollywood Strangler. So so I'll go back to Morton. I'm also working with Diane to convert our the GSI event, the Genealogy Solves It event that we did live in person in Salt Lake City in March. We're converting that to an on-demand, so it's for anybody in the whole wide world. In a couple of weeks, we'll be able to access it and go through, and that's a bespoke, brand new Venator story that doesn't exist anywhere else. GSI, wow. So it's called Superstition Mountains, and you basically have to identify 3 does who were found in the Superstition Mountains in Arizona. You have to use IgG techniques, which Diane and I will teach you about on videos. And you have to work out who these 3 does are, and then if you can, you then go on to try and identify who their killer is using IgG. So it's lots of fun, and it's lots of fun activities, but you learn techniques that you can apply to your own DNA. And I'm also running a genealogical crime mystery writing course.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and it's going very well. We're coming up to the last week in the pilot course, and it's gone very well. So there will be other iterations of it coming up in the future. So if you're interested, then go along to my website and register your interest, and I'll be sending out an email soon. So that's what I'm up to. Lots and lots of things. Too many things.
So what is your website for people that don't have it memorized?
It's why would nobody have it memorized? Everyone should have it memorized.
For our viewers.
www.nathandyllangoodwin.com. And that's where you can buy the books. There are links to the GSI events, there are links to the writing course, and links to everything you could ever need in your life.
That's great. That's great. So, okay. Usually when you go on any kind of vacation, a trip or something like that,
Yes.
you let people think that you're just on a trip for vacation. But generally, what you're really doing, right, is looking for information, stories that would be interesting. So,
Always.
so for those of us that know where you are all the time, because we're kind of, stalking you, could that be a hint of maybe what's coming next for Morton?
Yeah, probably, yes. So generally I do that. If I'm going anywhere, I think I need to combine this. I can't just have a vacation. I need to actually do something. So there are occasions when I'll check in somewhere and I'll say, oh, I was on holiday in Brittany in France a few weeks ago, and people are like, oh, is this a new story? No, I'm literally just on vacation. There's nothing to be, there's nothing here. But the next Morton is it's hop picking related. So it's 1920s Kent, and obviously the modern day with Morton in it. With lots of murders and mystery and mayhem going on. So that's the gist of the Morton book. But I need to reread what I've done because I can't actually remember the exact storyline. I've been too far away from it now. So yes, I do like to. If I'm going anywhere, I think, what else can I do? What other things can I achieve here? Yeah, but not always.
I've got another idea for people who love your stories, Laura and I. Next time you come to the United States and you're going to do a week or so running around trying to find things, take us with you.
Yeah. I would love to.
We could do a little road trip with you and watch. We wouldn't tell anybody what you're doing.
No, of course.
But just to watch how you work, I think would be really fun. And then maybe we could talk about that after the book went out.
Yeah. I don't think we'd get much work done though somehow.
Yeah,
no offense.
I know. We could try. We would have to be very, very, very careful that we helped you work and not just completely ran you off the rails. So.
Yeah.
But I just thought that would be so much fun.
It would
Be fun.
Kind of see the genius at work.
You're gonna give him a big head, Cheri.
Yeah.
He won't be able to get out of his writing shed because his head will have gotten too big.
Robert will go get him out. Robert will go get him out. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want? This kind of got wonky because we got cut off. Is there anything else that you want? I can tell people until I'm blue in the face that I could not put the book down. I loved this book. I was worried about your mental state of mind as you wrote about all the different ways people were killed. But other than that, it was, I just couldn't put it down. I just kept reading it,
Thank you.
So, and that's just the beta reader where I'm just got, all these pages. It's not even a book format. So
yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's much appreciated.
Wonderful. It was wonderful.
Fun. It really is fun to be a beta reader. So
yeah. This is going to be big. This is going to be big for you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, anything else you want to tell us?
I don't think so. I think it's all been covered. Just thank you. Thank you for reading. Thank you for sharing. And I hope people enjoyed the book.
Yeah, we will. We have enjoyed the book. So those of you that haven't read it, you will enjoy the book. So it's out on Kindle. It's out as the audio being worked on right now, right?
Yeah, the audio's started and it's out in hardback now as well. And then the paperback will be out in the spring.
Great.
Oh, okay.
Probably around Rootstack.
Should you change your mind and go to Rootstack, you will have some books there.
Yes, that would be, if I go to Rootstack, that will be when the paperbacks are launched. So it'll be around that time, regardless of whether I'm there or not.
I don't think the genealogy community could deal with you not being there.
We'll see. If I'm not, then I'll definitely be there the following year.
Ah, that doesn't. Well, we're not going to be this way. We'll be there next year. Doesn't help us, Robert. I just called you Robert. Nathan, doesn't help us. Doesn't help us. So I know
No.
Laura's laughing at me. She knows I've had a very long day already this morning.
Robert's just gonna so love that.
Yeah, you'll have to tell Robert that I called you.
He will love that. Yeah.
That's gonna make his day.
That's gonna
Yeah.
make it day. And the minute it came out of my mouth, I knew I said the wrong words. I can tell the difference between
It's the
two.
drugs. Don't worry about Cheri.
It's the
Yeah.
drugs. Yeah, I'm on some little not painkillers, but muscle relaxant. I'm on some muscle relaxant, and it's making me a little
It's
woozy.
relaxed this muscle in her skull.
It's totally relaxed. It's totally relaxed. So anyway, thanks, Nathan. I sure
Thank you for having me.
I
Thank
sure
you.
appreciate it. We always treasure you, and we'll have you on, okay? We love you. We love Robert. We love Harrison, and we are
Thank
just
you. We love you too.
We're
And
so
Morton.
grateful to have
Don't
your
leave
support
Morton out.
for we love having your support for us, as well as, we support you so much. So
Thank you. Yeah.
anyway,
Much appreciated.
yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
We will talk to you later. It's getting later.
Yes.
You're out there where you are. So
Yeah. It's time for a cup of tea.
time for a cup of tea and time to figure out when there can be another genealogy conference that Laura and I can come to, so we can come see
In
you
England.
in England.
Yes. Yes.
Work on that.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
put that in your hands. All
Bye.
right. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
It's like, get me out of here.
Bye. No. Bye.
Bye, everybody.